Wanted to talk about like our past with lifting, where and when it all started and why. So for me, it started sophomore year when I took weight training, and originally I was in advanced weight training, which was sixth period, which is for all the athletes like track people and football players and whatnot. And I got kicked out of there for being too small and too weak. The the teacher told me I was too small to be in there, so I had to go to beginner weight training, which was in the morning, which sucked because I hate working out in the morning. But anyways, so we took that class, which Sam was in, happened to be in. I didn't know him beforehand, so that's kind of where we started out where we met. And so I started out our first max for bench. I think I got like 95 pounds or less maybe. And so I wanted to start working out because I saw like all these people benching a lot more, and I wanted to be like that. And Sam started out benching.
My first max was freshman year, second semester, and it was 185.
And you had been lifting previously before that?
I'd been lifting for about 3 months before that in my basement, doing nothing but overhead press, deadlifts, and bench. I didn't squat or anything like that. I just did it. And my dad had a bunch of old lifting equipment, and we went out and bought a bench press and just decided to go.
And he also was previously in wrestling and football?
I did 8 years of collegiate wrestling. I went to state a couple times, and I went to Germany for wrestling. I did 1 season of high school football my freshman year and completely blew out my left knee. Everybody gives me crap about that now because one knee is shorter and lower to the ground than the other one is. I completely blew out my ACL and one of my meniscus, and I had a hole in my kneecap about this big. So that took about a long time to recover, but it kept me from playing sports, from wrestling. I was going to go into high school. The coaches wanted me to be one of the team captains and all that stuff. And I was away from wrestling for so long that I had to start lifting weights in order to get back into things. And I got hooked. After being away from wrestling for about a year, I tried to come back. I went to a Marysville private wrestling club, see if I still loved it, and it just wasn't there anymore. I just decided, I walked up to my coach and I said, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'll miss it, but I don't love it anymore. And lifting just kind of took over for me.
And so before I was in the weight training class, I'd played baseball since I was little. So I was pretty tall and lanky. I mean, I still am, but I was probably like 160 pounds, 155 pounds when I started. And just really weak, not athletic, kind of awkward with everything. And so in that weight training class, I kind of hit it off with our friend Tanner, I think is what started it. And then he knew Sam really well because they were childhood friends. And so he invited me over to start lifting in his basement, which we started doing. And so obviously our numbers went up. Even though we were doing everything wrong, we were still getting the beginner gains. And by the next year, junior year, I'd been hooked, and I think around that summer is when we started going to the gym, maybe like 3 times a week, and we still were doing everything wrong, but still making progress. And I came back the next year, and the teacher thought me and Sam were doing steroids because of the gains we made, but it was just beginner gains. We weren't even benching like, Sam was doing like 225, and I was only doing like 185, and that wasn't anything, but for some reason he still accused us. And after that, we started watching all these bodybuilding videos, mainly like bodybuilding motivations. And Sam was kind of the one that introduced me to that. He already knew a little bit about it. And so we started watching that together, and we got hooked on bodybuilding, and still didn't know much. Still thought you could get to the Olympia naturally and whatever, but
we were frowned upon by many. We were the people that went to the gym, did quarter squats,
Yeah, we looked like
half
assholes.
benched. We looked like, and we thought we were cool, but we didn't know anything. We didn't know any better. And as we started doing this more, we had to drop the ego. That was a hard thing. We had to drop the ego and just focus on actually making improvements instead of going in and throwing as much weight as you can on the bench and seeing how much you can do. We took a step back, improved the form, did everything right, and it's worked out for the better. I started lifting right after 8th grade during the summer. My dad started me on it, but it became mostly an obsession. My dad wasn't a good guy, and he was physically and verbally abusive to both me and my mother. And I was fed up with it. I was tired of being too small to stand up for myself and stand up for my mom. So I just started killing myself in order to be bigger and stronger than him. And late freshman year, there was a bad altercation, and I stormed out and we got in a fight. And after that, we didn't want him back. He was gone out of our lives. I dealt with a lot of depression. He took away my dogs, my 2 pit bulls. He took my money away. He took a lot of things from me. He chased us out of our home for a few months. We had to leave the state, hide from him. And he just made our lives hell. And all I had was a couple friends, Isaac, who's the cameraman right now, being one of them. I've been childhood friends with him since we were before 1st grade. Brandon, who I met sophomore year, and we just hit it off completely.
Yeah, so pretty much we used lifting as an outlet. Personally, my parents were pretty good to me, I'd say, really caring, but I definitely did get bullied a lot. My nickname in middle school is Needle Dick, and lifting definitely didn't improve my dick size, but I have bigger muscles, so it's okay.